Hey everyone, it's Fitz with your daily delivery. I hope you're doing well. I'm good. I'm good. What can I say? I'm doing great. Hope you are too. And the fallout from the no call on the targeting against Texas in the final moments of regulation with Arizona State continues as Brett Yormark, Big 12 commissioner, has now spoken out on the matter and took a very measured approach, but he said a lot. First, let me remind you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit the thumbs up, leave those comments. So much appreciated as we continue to grow. Man, 3.3 million views last year. Incredible. Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner, naturally sided with Arizona State. Now look, all of us who cover the Big 12, and it seems like most people outside of the SEC and certainly outside of being Texas fans, agrees that was targeting. There's a defenseless player. There was contact to the head and neck area, pretty obvious. And even the experts who interpret these things thought it was targeting, but not the Big Ten officials that were at the game. And in fairness here, and I want to be fair, there was a play just a little bit earlier in the game in which Texas fans feel like it was the same play, but the roles were reversed, and it wasn't quite that way. And it was ruled also not targeting because it wasn't really contact to the head or neck. It was shoulder to shoulder contact that kicked the head back. Looked dramatic, but it didn't quite fit the targeting definition like the other hit. But was that the right call? By the rule book, it should have been called. But in reality, and I think this is what the officials did, they understood the game of football. But first, let me read you what Brett Yormark said in a press release about his thoughts on the no call and what he would like to see going forward. I'm incredibly proud of how Arizona State represented the Big 12 in the college football quarterfinals. And while the outcome didn't go our way, the Sun Devils proved they are one of the most talented teams in college football this season. As a member of the College Football Playoff Management Committee, I've had multiple discussions seeking clarity surrounding the targeting call on Arizona State's final drive of the fourth quarter. Moving forward, we need to address CFP officiating to ensure national standards are developed. These standards will be crucial to the CFP future, and I look forward to discussing them with my fellow committee members when we meet next week. It's an interesting quote because he's basically saying, I need to understand why this wasn't called. He's not saying it was the wrong call. He's asking for understanding, and he still was seeking it at this point because it didn't make sense by rule. But he's also saying we need to clarify all of this. And I think all of us who cover college football or just watch college football would agree. The targeting rule is too cumbersome and honestly too expansive. And these are my thoughts on that call. I don't think it should be targeting. Yes, he made contact with the head and neck area of a defenseless player, but I don't like the definition of a defenseless player being a receiver going over the middle. I think that's game on, personally. And I know they want to make it safe, but the offense can make it safe by not calling those plays. That's a football play that was made by the University of Texas. Guy caught it, guy hit him, and because there were two moving objects, head-to-head contact was made. It's football, man. And I feel like sometimes the rules makers forget that these are human beings out there playing at high speeds with emotion. And if something's not calculated, if something's not obviously intentional, and that would include hitting a defenseless player, if you don't measure them up and then hit them, I don't see how you can call that hitting a defenseless player when you're simply running into them as another football player on the football field. I don't like the targeting rule overall. It's meant to protect the tacklers from neck injuries, but the rule's been bastardized so much that now they're trying to protect the runners. It was always about protecting the tacklers by making them lift their heads. And now it's just, we're going to call it because it's violent and dramatic. I also agree with him that college football needs set rules across everything, and, which they do, and training to match it with the officials. As of now, each conference in football handles their own officials. They have their own training. They have their own input they give to the officials. Would it be better if college football had a group of officials that served every game? Well, the big conferences want the best officials. Of course, we get that. But when we get to the college football playoff, those officials come from all 4 of the power conferences. In this case, it was Big Ten officials. And I saw Big 12 officials working another game. They always work the games that their schools aren't in. I like Brett Yormark's approach. He's a very measured leader. He has a lot of impact, and he knows how to communicate. I think if anyone's going to make some changes in how this is all approached, it's going to be Brett Yormark. We'll see what comes of this, if anything. But Brett Yormark's on the job. It's okay.